So, guys, Deborah's back because I love her so much and you guys loved her. And she's got this book. And if you haven't read it yet, you need to read it. But the thing is you wrote this purely for the person who was like, I'm not really into this.
Listen to the title.
I don't believe in astrology. Welcome to the Danette May Show, where you'll receive profound breakthroughs, courage to break old patterns, and live into your soul's purpose. Each week, I will bring you epic guests and live coaching to remind you of your power. You have the ability to achieve extraordinary things, and the time to start is now.
Every time I say it, it makes me laugh.
And that's you, but you do things in a way that makes it so it's relatable. I understand it. I feel seen. I feel like I can trust this because this is important, that people feel like they can read this. It doesn't matter your religious background. It doesn't matter your belief systems. We're not challenging any of it in this book.
Not at all.
And so I want to say that because I think I might have an audience that goes, is this going to challenge my belief systems? And we don't know. Will it challenge it? But the truth is she's not trying to challenge it.
No, I'm just trying to add the super sauce.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to change anything underneath the system. I'm just asking you to look up and consider that something really positive exists in the stars.
Wow. I've loved you from the minute I met you. I felt more seen, and I've said this many times, and people that have heard me talk about this, I am good at doing masks. I'll be honest. I'm good at being who I think someone wants me to know about me and what I want you to know about me. And I was like, oh, she can see a lot. And I'm the one who usually can see, and I feel like I got a leg up. And I was like, oh, she sees me.
That's Neptune. So one of the most primary influences in your chart, and it only happens once a year, is Neptune and the sun were standing together. And Neptune is the illusion artist. And they have the ability to shapeshift. They're dancers. They're musicians. So they create altered states where we're all flowing. And then we're like, what's behind the mask? Because it's so alluring, it's so attractive, and it's so honest of a Sagittarian to call herself out.
Yeah.
I love that part.
I know my heart, and I've always known my heart. But it doesn't mean I can't dance in different realms. I felt like you saw my heart. And that's what all of us want. We all want people to just know our heart.
You can imagine what a privilege it is for me that in this lifetime, I have X-ray vision. I've always had that gift. Like I've always seen people's real self and gotten a little confused by what they present as because it's been confusing.
Then you're like, wait.
And then I'm really confused because I see potential. I see people's essence really quickly. And then I'm left with, that doesn't match.
I feel the same way. I'm like, wait.
And that's confusing because I always go with the essence. But as the years have gone by and I'm turning into a grown-up, I'm having a birthday, I'm realizing that, you know what? It doesn't really matter what they're presenting. I see their essence and I back up a little bit and I let reality have her way because I always pay attention to the soul.
This is actually really important for me to hear from you. And I want to glean this wisdom in case anyone else is feeling this. I wrestle with this, like truly, because I want to love everyone. I really do. I actually wish there was a part of me that didn't know what I know, because I really just want it to be flowery and easy.
That's so nice.
So how do you handle this? Like when you see an essence, because that's what I feel. I'm like, I see this beauty, and we all have the dark and the light in all of us. But then you see the human part, and it's behaving differently and operating differently than the essence.
So you know what I do?
What do you do?
I'm in love with people's essences. I don't have to have them over for dinner. Like I've made a distinction between proximity.
Okay.
So even people that like politically or religiously that I don't agree with, I can see their essence. It doesn't even matter where they're from. I can look past the veneer. That doesn't mean that their human self doesn't find them annoying or I don't feel uncomfortable. I do feel uncomfortable. So I pay attention and I keep my proximity and I keep on smiling in my own heart of hearts and knowing who they really are. I do this with politics, with everything. I see beyond the veneer to the soul. And then I take a proper relationship with what's real. Like I'm not going to play with that person. And they just give me enough evidence to know what they are. And doesn't mean I'm going to stop loving them. So I live in a Pollyanna, like a little fairy tale. I live in Hawaii. I live in Boulder. Everything's always sunny. I give myself permission to see the love. Now, that doesn't mean it shows up at all in real life. And I make a distinction.
Okay. So it's saying, all right, I recognize it, and I'm also not going to have you over for dinner. I think you just nailed it by saying.
Yeah, and you don't trust people. You know, this is what's true. I don't know why people get upset. Don't trust people. Trust their soul. Just don't trust they're human. Don't have them for dinner. Don't sit and talk to them. But you can trust that their soul is pure like yours is. That's the truth. We all came out of love. I love saying this really random thing. Ready?
Yeah.
Everybody came out of an orgasm. Like somewhere there was a current of love. There was a yum yum factor. Somebody had this feeling for a moment, and that is the nature of this reality. However, back at the ranch, there's a whole other movie.
Yeah, wow. Thank you for that. I actually needed to hear that because I'm not sure how to navigate all of that sometimes.
And you're very discerning. I could tell that I got lucky that I passed the test. And it's a very specific test when it matches.
It
When
is.
someone's soul matches their expression, it's this is a real
Oh,
person.
it's like an exhale.
I know, and it's such a wonderful, then we get all excited.
Yeah, it's like the biggest.
I like this person. I trust this person. I want them to come for dinner. When can we go for a bike
Yeah,
ride?
yeah, it's important. It's actually really nice. Okay, I want to go there because everyone's going to want to know from you because you have a lot of gifts. You're not just the astrologer. I know
Oh,
beyond.
no, that's true.
And you also have studied the human mind and the human condition. I think you're fiercely fascinated by human behavior.
I have a master's in clinical psychology, and I spent the first part of my career working in back wards of hospitals,
Yeah.
really understanding the unconscious mind and being fascinated. I'm completely fascinated. I feel like an alien who's
you are,
never
though.
gotten bored with the humans. I could stare at them. I watch
You might be
TikTok,
down here on Earth actually as one taking
notes and sending home H-mails, not emails, H-mails right to heaven. I feel like my gift, and this is what astrology's done, is it's given me compassion because this human operating system.
That's probably where your compassion comes from, astrology. All right, guys, if you want more compassion in your life, maybe you should read
Especially
this
for the
book.
people that bug you. Especially for the people that bug you.
Wow. I'm already learning so much right now. This is really good. Let me hear from you then, because we're all going to want to hear from you. What is going on right now? Like, why do we feel, I'll speak for myself. I have felt so much stirring, and I've wondered, is it my growth that I'm feeling, or is this really, there is something different happening, and I felt the pop, and it's already happened. We're already in it. And why? Is this, can you
100% astrological.
Okay, tell
So
me
let's
what's
start
going
there.
on.
I don't want to be technical, but I'm going to be technical.
Go,
because the
please.
problem with astrology is it's jargon.
Right.
This is a problem. And so people watch the astrologers, they think about studying, they're like, this is too woo. So simply put, I'm going to start simple. Everything has an expiration date. Every empire goes up and comes down. Everyone gets older. It's the nature of the beast. Everything goes in cycles. That's how reality goes down here, up and down. And we are on a decline. America reached a pitch when Pluto returned. After 240 years, America had Pluto return last year.
Right.
What that describes is the end of an era. It's as though Egypt went down, or as though Greece went down.
Oh gosh, this is what I'm
Rome
feeling.
went down.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we don't have language for this because we've got a very short memory. Our timeline in our head, said the astrologer. Now, I have a longer view, but most of us, our view is about 2 weeks is the best we could do. So if I say to you 240 years ago, Pluto entered Capricorn, America got started in the 1770s, and there was a revolution. And for the first time, they saw Uranus. It was a brand new discovery. And so everyone just decided to break the rules. Throw the tea over the boat. We're not paying the queen. Forget the queen. Come over to America and let's bring in equality. Let's have the forefathers talk about everybody gets a vote. Forget about the king and queen. This was radical.
Yes.
So it worked. It was an experiment, and there was a real introduction of democracy and equality and religion being acceptable, and people that were rich and poor could coexist. And then the experiment went a little wonky. Now, it did have a good ride, and we did have civil wars, and we did have conflict, but we really did our best effort to say, come and live with us. That was America. She's a Cancer. She was like, let me feed you all. And then Pluto Return happened last year, and the government shifted, and the system has broken, and now we're entering into a new era with a brand new system. We don't know what it is, but we know what it's not.
Yes.
And it's not going to be with the Constitution. It's not going to be with the vote. It's not going to be, there's going to have to be people coming together. This is the Aquarian age, where we get to know each other and find out who we feel safe with, who we resonate with. Where's our communities? Who do you want to be around? It's going to become very obvious. And some people who believe in certain things that we don't will love being together. And you and I will love being together, and we'll find our pods, and we'll find a different version of society. So we're updating, but it's very uncomfortable. Just like giving birth, we're both mothers. There's this raw moment where the transition begins, and you're like, I'm scared.
I'm going to die.
That's what people think.
Yeah.
And that we are ending, we're in a birth canal. We've never seen this before. There's 8 billion people. Like, there's never been these many feet standing on mom. And it hurts.
Yeah.
And she's like trying to balance herself out because we're abusing her, putting plastic everywhere, throwing things in the water, ruining the coral, ruining the temperature. So that's going to be adjusted. And then there's this really wise thing happening, said the astrologer, where we're getting an updated operating system. But we can't explain it. We only feel it. You're feeling it because you're an intuitive. That we can't see the future. But I can promise you it's really pretty. It's about 60 miles east of here. Just kidding. But it's a very comforting knowing that this has been written. It's not a surprise. We're giving birth. If you were in a room and you'd never seen it before, you'd think everything was wrong. If you were in a room watching a woman give birth
And you never had heard about it.
and you'd want to take that thing off her and cut the thing and you wouldn't know what to do. That's exactly how we feel. But if you just sit with patience and trust and you rest in the knowing that, of course, this is being organized by the stars, by the gods, by the angels, by the protection of your higher self. Do you think we're not being watched? Is that what you think, that you're all by yourself down here? It's going wrong? Hello? Nobody's alone. Not one of you is alone. And we're being orchestrated. I love that you love the wisdom of the elder. And always the elder will say to you, take a breath. We
It's gonna
got
be
this.
okay.
There's women in the room who are midwives who know how to take a breath. We've got the seers. We've got the intuitors. We've got the researchers. We've got the inventors. We've got a whole bunch of new models coming in.
Do you believe there's new plant life coming on too?
There's a lot of extinction going on. There's a lot of endings across the world. I would assume that just seems natural that there's birthing of a new creation. And those of us that are hackers, which I am because I'm 95, you can't tell by looking, but part of what's kept me so vital is hacking, knowing what to invent, the new plants, the new systems, the new water. How are we going to do this? It's exciting to see the future arriving.
I love this way you're describing this, and I think it's really comforting for people. Just, hey, take a breath, breathe into your heart. I heard that in Hawaii a lot, actually. A lot of the Hawaiian elders would say, breathe into your heart.
Yes.
Breathe into your heart. It was one of the biggest messages
Because
I
do you
kept
know what
hearing.
aloha means? To breathe.
Aloha, yeah, the breath.
When the Hawaiian meets each other, they touch foreheads. Then they pull back and they put one cheek against the other and they go like this. And that's how you say hello. And if it's a real Hawaiian, they breathe together. Aloha is to breathe together into your heart.
Yeah.
But we are so busy and we're captured by these technologies and we live in cyberspace most of the time and we're driving around those little cars and we live in a very non-physical world unless you're in Hawaii with bare feet and having the ocean and the wind and the sand and the smells and the flowers. I'm a naturalist.
I know you are. She
chance
lives
I-
there and here, which is interesting. Why Boulder?
Because of the best bike paths in the United States. I live on a bike. I don't drive a car. I drove here today. But I
You
realized
love biking.
I could have biked here
You
today.
totally could have, and I
Yeah.
would have biked back with
I
you.
know, we did it together. And biking is, so for me, living on the land and returning to the elements, and my first book is called The Missing Element. There's no astrology in it. It's just water, air, earth, and fire. And I learned, this is how I've stayed so young. Every single day, I spend time, I just came back from swimming. I spend time in the water, whether that's in meditation, whether that's having a cup of saffron tea I just found, and then every day I spend time in the air reading, using my mind, the airhead that we are, communicating. And every day I pay attention to earth and the food and the organic food. I know we share this, the respect for the physical plane and cleaning and organizing. I love it. I didn't come this way. And every day I have fire. I am putting on music and playing and dancing every day. So those 4 elements, honest to God, in the tarot deck, the very first card is the Fool. You jump onto this planet like a nut. Who comes here? You forget everything. It's amnesia the minute you arrive. Well, I think I had a past life, but I can't remember. And then that's the first card. It's
I
the
didn't know
0 card.
this.
It's the Fool. And then the very first stop, number 1 card is the Magician. And across, since the 15th century, on the Magician's table are the 4 elements in every single deck of the tarot deck. Because you can't do magic here without knowing the elements. People don't tell you that.
Interesting.
And I do the 4 elements every
single
day.
That's your
That's my
routine.
medicine. That's my root system.
Yeah. And is that in the morning?
It depends. It starts the day in the morning. You get up and take a shower and you brush your teeth and you have some tea.
But you're just recognizing.
But I follow it. By the end of the day, it's fire. The music's on. You're making love. You're having a glass of wine. There's a rhythm that we never speak to that was left behind.
True.
That's based on the elements. That's my first book.
Wow. What's your favorite part about being human?
I don't really like it.
Yeah, it's hard. I can feel you.
It hurts me. I know
What
you're
part?
gonna
What
get me
hurts?
Emotional. It makes me so sad that people don't have joy, that they don't have money, that kids are being hurt. It's impossible for me not to think about it and start to hurt.
I know.
So
I don't want to take you too far.
But human, for me as Debra, my favorite part, I think it's the wind. I think it's these conversations. It's being tickled. It's watching people's lights come on. You know this feeling when you're in a workshop and I'm teaching a class and someone takes my astrology class and they realize they got Neptune on the sun, then all of a sudden the whole thing makes sense.
Yeah.
And the lights go on. And that makes me get super excited when I watch people wake up in front of me.
You're really actually really good with people and teaching and lighting them up. It's a gift you have for sure.
I think it comes from the planet I'm from. I think there's a lot
What
of...
planet are you from?
I don't know. I can't remember the name. See what I mean? We forget everything here.
I think you're from multiple planets.
But I definitely know that I'm here on assignment.
Oh, for sure.
So,
A lot of us.
it's true. And when we meet each other, we're like, oh, another one. And then we get to use our operating system that has different
I
antennas.
actually have to really look at you to see the human.
Because that's
I
what
can't believe I'm saying all this.
I could see through your eyes.
I'll draw you what I see at
Because
some
you're
point in
Neptune.
private.
See, it's a gift this
Yeah.
lifetime. That's a gift that you came down with, and everyone comes down with gifts.
Interesting.
And your gift is seeing through people, and my gift is starting fires.
Starting
I'm
fires.
a fire starter. I just tickle people.
You
and
do. You lit my fire. That is
Come on,
true.
baby, light my... I know I have a gift of reminding people who they are and what
You
they
do.
signed up for. And then I watch them get all excited.
And you give them permission. You're like a fire starter that's like, roar, baby, roar. And I'm like, okay, I can be me with her.
Yeah, because I found out, I never disclose what I found out, but clearly you've got the gift of vision and it's not obvious, but
No.
you did speak to it. I'm so thankful. And that is Neptune. And then you have that little Aquarius moon who's from the future and she's not bound to what everyone else thinks.
But she was raised in it because that's her lesson.
No.
That's her lesson to learn because then she can
Play with
use
the
it as an
people.
alchemy.
Yeah, and everyone that's listening, you have something specific in your chart. I remember when we first met, I was listening to all your podcasts going, this is such practical information you give people.
You're so sweet.
It's just true.
You make me feel so normal because the only person I can go to is my husband. I'm like, do you have this? Does this happen? Do you see this? And he's no. And I'm like, who else sees this? Why am I seeing this?
No, I definitely see what, and you do know how to step away from time, and you do know how to let yourself float and follow the moment. You're double air. So
I
you
didn't know I was double air.
Yeah, so the Aquarius moon and Gemini risings, your soul and your emotional body loves spontaneity and loves being tickled in your mind and having new thoughts and then sharing them. It's like your favorite. You're built for the job.
Yeah.
We're both fire and air. Look at us. And if we had a Kirlian photograph of this room, you would see our chemistry. Whereas if someone talks really soft and they're much slower and we're like,
I can actually read the next word they're going to say. So I'm like, you might as well go 3 words up because I just...
see, that's your moon in Aquarius. They're ahead of everybody else. That's Gemini.
I'm like, okay, I already got that second word. Go ahead.
And so some people are really impatient like we are. And some people feel bad because they're so slow. And that's a beautiful thing. They're gardeners and they're cooks and they play with the kids and they take care of the animals. We're like, okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to go for a run. I'll see you after. That's fire and air.
Your bike ride.
Yes.
Why are you drawn to Egypt right now?
Well, astrology began in Egypt. So let's start there.
Did it?
The hieroglyphics, the whole practice of astrology is based in Egypt.
I did not know this.
And so, yes,
Is this in here?
no, it's not. It mentions that the Egyptians were honoring the 4 elements.
And we know these ancient civilizations followed the stars.
Of course they
yes,
did.
but I didn't know that's where we found
source.
the original.
Yes. And Egypt for me is like the home calling. Oh, mothership. Astrology where she started. Shouldn't I be in a relationship with her? So you have helped me because I can feel anyone who's an old soul, for God's sake. It was 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. It was the longest example of the human species being in peace. Like, we have so much war. Egypt lived in a very...
They're the longest noted to live in peace,
Yes.
even over the Minoans in
yes,
Greece.
they were the longest existence
wow.
of peace. So
Wow.
we have memories, and it's also the access to astrology. So part of me, it's like honoring my ancestors, honoring the elders, and wanting to recover the source, because clearly that system hasn't changed. Like, astrology is ancient. It's the oldest science on Earth.
Yeah, and it is a science.
Yeah, it's pure science. It's where were the planets at the moment of your
I feel
birth.
like it's really important for my audience to understand this. It's not this woo-woo. It's just that you might be hearing about it right now, but it's been here since...
Across time.
Yeah.
And isn't it interesting that everyone knows that you're a Sag and I'm a Gemini, and my grandmother knew she was a Gemini? Like, the conversation was in the zeitgeist.
And it's always in the paper. What's your horoscope? Always.
Exactly.
Even back then.
So it's the foundation. I like to think of the stars as the guiding light, that our silly little minds, why do we love to dream, and why do we love to look at the stars, and why do we feel so romantic about the moon, more poems written to the moon than any other object? Because we know we're humbled in the presence of that magic. So I'm just going to Egypt to activate a memory and to really align again. It's funny you asked that. Of course you asked that. To align myself with my ancient self that is trying to update and do the time travel dance so that I can perform my next job, which is helping us herald in this next era, because we're in a big change.
I feel that the land, have you been there before?
No, you have.
Yeah. And I just had this feeling right now where I'm like, the land, I just saw the land, like you saying this, going, there's an exchange. It's like a remembrance because you're a remembrance for the land too. It's not that
Yes.
you're just getting this, it's also like the
Yes.
land's getting something too.
Yeah, it's a bridge from here to there because I was there before. And I have been to Israel and I have been in the deepest parts of Israel. So I know that ancient land where Christ walked, or where this incredible acupuncture point on planet Earth where everything's so heated up. That place is such an energetic, wild spot. And to go there to bring peace and to go back to the memory and to activate that with a group of beings that I feel alliance with, we're dreaming this one, aren't we?
Wow. I'm like shocked this will be the first time because, yeah, this is your birthplace of your work.
And to bring the light to the dark because that place is wounded, as is everything on earth that has history.
Exactly.
I call it her story. His story was about the male, and now the feminine is coming back into focus. And look at us. There was never a female astrologer in the history of mankind. There was never,
back probably in ancient Egypt there was.
I'm sure there was.
Ancient
You're
Greece.
so right.
Absolutely there was.
I love that. I love that. That's right. Why would I say that? Of course, in ancient times, and of course in Lemuria, there was a respect for the feminine. She started this whole thing.
She did. She actually did.
I know. So funny.
She did. And then the men got involved and then we forgot about her.
And we had to do this little dance. There's nothing wrong, you guys. It's so easy for us to shame the male.
Oh, I'm not shaming
But
them.
it is easy to say it's their fault when truthfully, the evolution of the species required us to get all funny and then come back home.
That's what I was going to ask you. Does the stars, from an astrology scientific standpoint, because I don't know about astrology, I only know what I feel. And I have been saying for the past 2 years probably that we're coming back to the ancient Egyptian ways, that we're being led back into that way of being where men and women were like this. There was never this or
Exactly.
this. It was this.
That's exactly
and
right.
marched together. And he understood her divinity and she understood his. And it was like this year of peace, or not year, but.
So I'm teaching a class on the tarot in the fall of 2025 on Shift Network. And I had this download. It's the craziest story. The major arcana in the tarot deck, who knew? There's 22 major arcana cards, starting with the Fool, as I described, and then the first card's the Magician, and it goes on. 12 of them are signs, and 10 of them are planets. So they made the major arcana exactly astrology, but they didn't know about Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. The cards were done in the 15th century, and we only found Pluto in 1930.
Those three are new?
They're all new. They were 1930 they found Pluto, but they left the exact cards. So they knew back then, as we did in Egypt, that there was a design about to happen. This is so you're eliciting this from me. There is a design. There is an organization of us waking up, falling asleep, waking up, falling asleep. We're waking up now. And the tarot deck is one of the division, like it's a divination tool that I am simplifying it, showing the evolution of consciousness, starting off with the Fool, because we all come in here going, what did I sign up for? And then we land with the Magician. I'm going to teach the elements. And then the very first card after the Magician is the High Priestess. The whole thing starts with the High Priestess saying, now, listen, use your faculty for intuition before we go anywhere. And that's you. You are the High Priestess.
Oh my goodness. And you're going to take this and really make it so we can understand this ancient wisdom.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
I can't even tell you. I'm getting all excited. It was like a mission assignment that came to me through my dreams. And then I sat down one day. This is a crazy story, on an airplane. It got delayed for 6 hours. I was in one spot for 10 hours and I wrote the whole, it
was pouring out.
And then after it was all over, I gave it to my editor and she was like, where did you get this from? And I started thinking about it and I was like, I don't know. I thought I read it somewhere, but essentially it was channeled.
Yes, absolutely.
Very exciting because you're right. It's a simple, orchestrated, like an arc of consciousness. It starts off with the Fool and the very last card is the World. And the last card says, whatever's happened in this lifetime, you've taken one for the team. That everything going on in your life, you've done it for the evolution of our humanity. And it's the Capricorn card, the very last card.
Wow.
I know. I can't wait to
This
share
is
it.
so
No,
exciting.
you would be. Yes, I want to design. I have this fantasy of it will assist us. My intuition is once you know that this has all been written
Yes.
and that it's in the stars and that it's an organized, brilliant intelligence, just like astrology is, there's some comfort to know, oh, so someone's watching. Oh, there's a higher intelligence, and part of our descent was to see if we could come back up. And that's why you and I are here.
Yeah. And it makes total sense because if you think about all these different ups and downs of our lives, like we can see the big collective, but then we can see it also in our own little timeline of this timeline. Oh, I was born into this family so that I could go like this. So I could learn that, whatever that was, and alchemize it
Exactly.
into the ascent.
That is exactly why we're on Earth, to alchemize the pain body in order to take it up. And the ones of us that do it really well because we get so good at it, it becomes really fun. And that's how the light stays with us because we're no longer being distracted
Yeah.
by the negative. And that's what my book is about, the gremlins that live in the unconscious. Everyone suffers because there's this, I don't know who made this up. And when I get home, they're not going to want to see me because I keep saying, like, why would you put in the unconscious, instead of having young girls have this feeling of confidence when they're young, we all grow up feeling insecure. We all grow up self-conscious. We all have a little bit of anxiety about socializing. We all wonder if we're really pretty. We have these ridiculous, like, who made this up? And then once you become acquainted with this material, which is what my book is about, then you start to feel better and better. And then all of a sudden your ego is at the service to your soul. And now your ego and soul are in tandem, but it's so unnatural.
Interesting. I love how you do this. You have a gift and you are necessary right now.
Thank you.
So necessary. And I feel like every elder or person who's 40 plus, really, we're going to use this timeline of age, are wisdom bearers and hold so much coding in the DNA. And I'm like, please.
And there's some children coming in. You
Oh,
meet them.
gosh.
I had one of those.
Yeah.
Old little soul. Like I felt like a little kid. Uh-oh, this person's so old.
Felt like my daughter was my mom.
Exactly.
You felt
I
that.
had a kid who was my dad.
Oh my gosh.
I had to say,
yeah,
excuse
it's
me.
wild.
Yeah, just take a little bit of a look this lifetime. We're not in that same shape. And the really important part is eldership, while it's been judged and everyone's so desperate to say young, is about to turn 70. And it is, I can't tell you what a liberation it is once my ego, once my gremlins were under the effect of my soul. Am I self-conscious? Yes. Do I wonder if I look okay? Yes. Do I have a feeling that I'm getting older, my body's doing funny things? Yes. And do I have a secret part of me going, oh, it's getting better? It feels so much
Does it
more.
feel like it's getting better and better?
Oh my God, so much more liberated, so much less nervousness, so much less concern what others think, so much more feeling of safety.
I love
Shocking.
this. I devour these words because we talked about, and her and I behind the scenes have been talking about Egypt. And what I'm so drawn to Egypt and ancient Greece is because those women, when I study that ancient formula, the women 40 plus, 45, more 50 plus, were revered. They were the oracles. They were the women that the king, the pharaoh went to because of their deep wisdom. And somewhere along the line, as we say in our descent, we've forgotten the power, the magnitude, the glory of this woman. And she's now walking in this civilization we live in and questioning her worth, her value. What is she going to do? What do I do? My kids, like, woman, you hold power. Like, we got to go back to that remembrance because they were revered. They created all these statues for them. They were all over the artwork. They were everywhere. They were the ones
So
revered.
true. And that's why you love the Hawaiian culture.
Exactly.
Those
'Cause
women, I
that
see
was
them
also-
all the time.
Yep.
And the chanting and their ability to do hula and their
And
bodies.
they just own their power. They own their weight. They own their light. They own all of it. I'm like,
It's coming soon to your neighborhood.
it is
And
coming
and it's
soon to your
because of you and
neighborhood.
it's because of me, and stand on my shoulders, you guys. Be
Yep.
comfortable enough to let yourself look to the elder that you'll know when you meet one. And it doesn't matter how old they are. When you feel someone's confidence and you feel their softness and their heart's open, because it is back to the high priestess. It's the feminine principle when she's honored, especially when men honor her. There is a deep wisdom.
That emerges.
And want to hear my update on wisdom?
What?
Half of it is wisdom, wise, the whiz, and the other half's dumb, wisdom. And it's okay to say as an elder, I don't know, but I'm going to ask Danette about something I see that she knows about Egypt. Whiz? Yes. Do I have whiz? But I also have the innocence to go, I don't know. And that's
Whoa.
true wisdom. And that's what happens as you get older. You get less and less self-conscious about saying, can you help me? I need some insight. And so you learn and you read the elders and you read the books and you find the people who have wisdom. And I guarantee you it's because they are innocent enough to say, I don't know.
Wow, I've never heard that before.
I
That
made
was
it up.
so good. You're so good.
I know. I'm a very good listener. I tattooed on my arm the words listen and silent have the same letters. So in order to really be able to listen, you've got to learn the high priestess who sits in meditation and she sits still. And even when nothing's happening, like when you feel like you're bored, because people in meditation is so weird. I tell people, just do 5 minutes to start with. But I've really learned as the years, because I was not good at it. Were you good at it to begin?
No.
No, because we're both air.
I'm like, I'll do a walking meditation. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
No, that's really true. That's very
Yeah.
important to know. People like us. And so I've learned now how to give myself permission to do 5 minutes, do a guided meditation, find a teacher. It doesn't require, some people, water people, can really sit in stillness.
Yeah.
I look at them, I'm jealous. They don't wiggle. Air people, we wiggle and we tickle ourselves and we have to ask questions, we raise our hands. And the earth people are cleaning. How do they meditate? You never know that cleaning can be a meditation.
Absolutely.
Gardening.
Wiping that counter. Yes.
Doing the organization is a
Yeah.
real system for some people.
That's what I say. There's all different ways to meditate, and life is one big meditation pot.
It's true. And the biggest single ingredient that I've learned this life is prayer. I didn't know I was good at it because I wasn't born Christian. I was Jewish, and prayer wasn't part of my daily activity. And then I found out there's this magical thing where before you eat, you do a little prayer. Before you go for your swim in front of the ocean, you ask everybody to be nice to you. Before you get in the airplane, you make sure that it's really safe and you do a little prayer. And the next thing you know, you're working in tandem with all these friends who love the fact that I talk to them all day.
Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful.
So
Prayer.
pray. Don't think it's something random or it's weird or it's
religious.
or it's just you in union with your high priestess.
Oh, so beautiful.
Because that's what she does.
All right, one last question. I love chatting with you. So fun. I know people are going to love this one. This was just really good. I want to think about, I want to feel this woman who's listening right now and what questions she wants me to ask you. And what's coming is she's asking you to say, I would like to pray. How do I start? How do I pray to? And she's asking you about
Such a
God and
beautiful question.
Jesus.
First, start with forgiveness. Just say, forgive me. I don't know how. If you guys start with forgiveness, it's something that I do when I'm out in nature. It makes me want to cry because I'm such a mush. I always get out to nature and I always feel like all these people have been walking through the beauty. I live in Hawaii, but they don't remember to stop and acknowledge the invisible ones. So I say to them, forgive us. Let me be the voice of asking for forgiveness. That's how. And then I thought to myself, gee, every prayer I start with is forgiveness. What's wrong with me? But I think what it's done is it's helped my humility and the softness of my heart. Forgive me for not knowing how to pray. Forgive me for forgetting how important it is for me to be connected to you. Help me to get reconnected. Just start that. Every day I prayed since I was in my 20s. Let me be of service today. Like, who can I help? Why else would I come to planet Earth? If not to be able to serve my sister, my brother, and the people here that are so confused and the sadness and all that. Let me be a healing agent. Help me. So the prayer could be as simple as, I really want to learn how to take my life into the light. Help me. And then you know what they do? They go, oh, we got a hot one down there. She's learning how to pray. Look at that. She's been asking every day. And make it a ritual. Start your day when you wake up in the morning. Just put it on your toothbrush. Oh, wait, hold on a minute. Thank you so much. Forgive me. I forget to say, thank you so much. And then they go, she's back.
I don't know why that touched me so much.
I think what it is when we cry, when the emotional body gets triggered, is the soul is longing for us as much as we're longing for our soul. And it's only a symbol. That's in my elemental conversation. Water is the element that lets you know that it's real, that the heart's been opened. There's nothing wrong with tears. We spend so much time talking. We spend so much time in our heads. We spend so much time with social media. And when the heart is opened like that and we're in the presence of the ones we can't see, it always gets the willies. You get the tears. You suddenly feel like something's shifted in the room.
Yeah, I can feel whatever you believe in. It might be God, Jesus, Allah, whatever all the terms are,
Buddha,
high priestess, goddess, whatever you believe in, is just saying prayer is universal.
And we're so happy you came and asked us. And they're so happy to see you with tears down your face.
Thank you so much for being here today. And you guys, thanks for being a part of this conversation with one of my favorite people on this earth. And so grateful. And thank you. And we'll see you on the next episode.